Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. Great to speak to you again. I can't believe we've only got 5 episodes left after this one, and normally by this point I am absolutely fatigued with it. I'm getting a bit fed up with it, but no, now I'm kind of getting a bit sad that there's only a few episodes left. But for tonight's episode 25, where do you want to start?
I think Millie's the one, Dave. She had a bit of it wasn't a best episode, I didn't think, today. I think she come out of it looking a bit silly with some of the things that she said about people.
Yeah, oh my God. So I'd been, heaping the praise on Millie recently. I thought she'd done quite well in terms of like calling out behavior from other people, and just, I'd said she was almost that point of view character where she just calls out the nonsense. But she needs to have a fucking look at herself as well, because, when they had to decide, which boy was going to leave, and they decided it was Jackson. As soon as they found out 2 new boys were coming in, it's like, oh, tradie, oh, it's fucking tradie, oh, I'm all over that. They're going to be great. Forgetting the fact that you already had tradies in the fucking villa already, and you weren't interested in any of them. So it's just frustrating me, Chris, because she's got this idea of something, and it's like fucking rocking horse shit. Probably doesn't exist, because, she starts off with Corey, and no sooner has he chosen her than he's given her the ick. It's like she's shooting down everything he says, and then decides, oh, I like a bit of Mark. Who's the fucking opposite to a tradie. So I'm thinking, Chris, she likes more of a Zoolander tradie. She likes a model who is on a cover of a magazine in a fucking tradie outfit or something, done up like a plumber or an electrician or something, a lumberjack. The girl just doesn't know what she fucking wants. How many chances does she want, Chris?
I don't know. I agree, Dave. I thought a comment about Corey was pretty naughty, actually, because she said at the start, he's the type of guy that on Instagram with a filter, you'd go, yes. When you see him in real life, you go, no. And I'm thinking, he's not that fucking bad. You know what I mean?
But honestly, Chris, though, you see all of their Instagram profiles. Is that not the same of all of them, boys and girls? They fucking look amazing, on their Instagram. And then you see them, they are beautiful people, but they're just fucking normal. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty horrible. But again, it's part of her modus operandi, isn't it? It's like, oh, I'm interested in this person. Yeah, I'm bored now.
No, I think you're right, Dave. Anybody can have a filter on Instagram and look the business. And I just thought that was disrespectful. And from there, she just was like that through the whole episode. I mean, she fucking threw that drink in the drink game in Erin's face with some force, Dave. Some of the things where Millie had said 2 or 3 times, hadn't she, some nasty stuff about people?
Yeah, she can be quite cutting. And I didn't think... So that's interesting. So the quotes game, fucking love it, Chris.
Yeah, I love that.
For creating a bit of drama, and although in there, the narrator calling it out as well, it's just an excuse to create a bit of drama. But I thought, because Erin had said something about, why would I be threatened by her small tits or something like that. Millie threw it kind of in Erin's chest, so she avoided throwing it in the face, because obviously they've got all fucking fake eyelashes and mascara and all sorts, haven't they? All their makeup. So I thought in that moment Millie was being fairly considerate, but when the tables were turned and Erin got to throw the drink, then it was straight in Millie's face. Which again, I think it says a lot about Erin. She just doesn't give a shit about anyone apart from herself.
I agree. And also, Dave, fucking brilliant what Eden said about her. Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone was like, it's got to be Millie. And it was fucking Eden. I mean, she did take it quite funny, because she actually said, didn't she, I'm not speaking to you for a minute. And then in the VT room, she actually said, she went, he's right what he's saying, but I don't need Eden to say it about me. So she took it quite well, actually, because it was quite a cutting comment, wasn't it? It really was a bit of a thing on. And Grant with Amelia said she's playing a game. I don't know where that's come from. I've totally missed that one.
I don't remember that. and Grant, Grant took some pelters, didn't he, early in the series, but he's not done as bad recently. But I don't know. I think that's more, Chris, about this divide between the boys. So when he probably said it when Amelia got with Josh, and Josh is in Eden's camp, isn't he? So I don't remember it, but I can see Grant saying something like that. But yeah, I tell you one of the things, Chris. I mean, again, it was good to create a bit of drama, and if you don't want other people to hear it, you shouldn't fucking say it, should you? But I tell you what, I didn't like to this. I've given Eden a bit of credit at various points, but in this last week, I've been right off that train because I just think he's got that arrogant attitude, and he'll blow up at people, and then if he apologizes, he basically forces the thing to be put to bed and settled, but it's all on his terms. I thought the way he was being with Teddy, I thought that was bullying, and I thought he was just a prize bellend, and I felt proper sorry for Teddy. I'd said it even early on when Teddy first got there and they got him to jump in the pool. I think Teddy has been bullied a bit in that villa.
Yeah, you know what, Dave? I've tried not to say the B word, but and I'm not just saying this because you just said it. I think he has, and I think Eden and that seem as a sign of ridicule because of. I mean, someone said about his teeth and that. It's fucking disgraceful. You don't say that. You know what I
Shelby,
mean?
wasn't it?
Yeah, you don't say that.
Sort of said it, so I'm a bit. But I'm not in the villa, and he's never going to listen.
No, but no. Well, what I mean is, if you can take something as a joke, then like I know I've got a big nose. I get ripped about my nose. It does not bother me one bit when someone says something about my schnoz, Dave. It really doesn't. I've had it for years, so it's part and parcel of my makeup. I even make fun of my own nose, hence one of our recent podcasts I was taking the mick at myself. So I do it all the time. I've got no problem with that. We all have our vices and stuff. However, there could be other things that tip me over the edge and I'd be like, oh, fuck off or whatever. But I just honestly, Dave, I felt so sorry for the lad. So much so that we're not following him on Instagram, actually. I don't know why. He's obviously totally missed that. And I followed him straight away and just started going through his stuff. And he looks like he's doing really well, that guy. And such a good guy.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoiler. Teddy, yeah. No spoilers. But just as a person, I was thinking, fucking wankers. He said I was bullied at school. I had a lot, and he started crying, and I was like, "Oh, that's fucking terrible." And he even said, didn't he? I've had to deal with the fucking jocks and fucking people like Eden all my life who just pick on him. I just don't like that.
And it comes across as well. And Dom is as fucking same as well, I tell you. Because when it was that comment, about it was obvious it was from when Teddy first came into the villa and had the gall to pick a date with Erin, and Teddy said something about, "Are you hot?" Trying to make a little. I mean, it was a crap joke, to be fair, but trying to say something before he throws the drink on him. And Eden's like, "Hotter than you," and then fucking Dom's giving him the fist bump and stuff. I'm just like, "Fuck off, you pair of fucking jock twats." In fact, Chris, I'll quote directly one of the bullet points I've got from my notes here. It says, "Eden's a fucking twat, bully, shithouse."
Now, Dave, that's usually the sort of thing I say, but yeah, I agree.
He's a fucking cock, Chris. And again, we usually stick to the behaviour, don't we? But once we've got enough bullet points, once we've got enough data points, about someone, it's clear how they are. And fucking, I right off the Eden, and as I've said before, the Eden and Erin train right off that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I totally off it. I've been off it for a while, Dave, and I think the situation with Teddy, I'd completely forgot about this speech. But for me, I was thinking, you need to be with somebody because I would even though, all right, it's 2 years ago and I might know who wins or whatever, but you sort of like, he's the man. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's the man. He's a great, and him and Grant have got a great relationship, Dave. A great relationship. Do you know what I mean? So I think what it is with Grant, Grant's the type of guy who will not stand for bullying. And I think what's happened is he's clashed with Eden because he knows that Eden might do him over or whatever in a fight, but he's not having anybody bully his girlfriend, talk to him like shit, get their own way. And I think he's struggling to keep his mouth shut because I think in a normal situation, he'd open his gob and say to Eden, like, you're being a fucking cock. Whether he get beat up or not, I think he's that type of guy. He will back you up 100%. And that's why we had this little coalition of Grant, Teddy and Jackson, because Jackson and Teddy were just completely ostracized in the house. So Grant's like, you can't do that. And like you said, the Josh situation, Josh is a nice guy, but them two dicks who he's siding himself with, he should not be with Eden and Dom. Pair of absolute arrogant wankers, Dave. I'm surprised by what you said, Dave, because that's the sort of shit I say. So you've done me today. But yeah, I'm totally in agreement.
Well, I think once I go past a certain point, Chris, my diplomacy hat comes right off. And I'll just finish off that sort of train of thought and say, you know what, Teddy can get his teeth fixed, but Eden, you'll always be a fucking
Yeah. I actually, that's true. That's true. I totally agree. Totally agree. And I think as well, Dave, what was nice about this episode after this farce was the Grant and Taylor meal, and she went for a fashion thing with Teddy, didn't she?
Yeah. So and again, it's telling though, isn't it? So Eden and Erin, they had the whole villa, sort of like puppets, like supporting them with the whole thing. Grant is just like, no, Teddy's my boy here. I'm going to involve him in this, but I'm going to do it away from everyone else in the villa. Again, I thought that was quite telling, and I thought for me it felt more authentic. Again, because of what had happened earlier in the episode when Eden and Erin did it, and I just wasn't happy about how they treated Jackson. And throwing him under the bus with Shelby. I just wasn't bought into it. It just seemed fake, set up. I was just like, fuck this bullshit. I was actually bought into this one. It was more a kind of personal thing. All right, you've got the cameras there, but it was just them two, together. Teddy had done the whole setup and everything, laid it up, but then he fucked off. I actually got a bit emotional in this bit, Chris.
Yeah, I thought it was nice. I'm not going to disagree with you, Dave. And I think as well, they did it like you say. You're totally right. There's none of this fanfare, none of the other bollocks. It was done and dusted, and Grant could not stop smiling. For me, he was absolutely on it.
And Taylor couldn't stop fucking giggling, which was getting on my nerves after a bit, to be honest.
But yeah, they do seem really sweet on each other, and I think that's really nice. And at the end of the day, it's there. So I'm really, really fucking happy with how that went with them. And I think as well, there's all sorts of shit gone on today, which just sours a show like this, a reality show. We've seen it in Big Brother many a times where the pack mentality gang up.
Yeah.
They haven't been as vicious with Teddy like some of the shows I've watched where it's just out and out fucking bullying. But the little subtle things they do and the way they sort of disrespect him and look down on him, that's just as bad for me. It's not an obvious sign of bullying. They'll just say it as a joke, but it's fucking bullying, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. Now, moving away from that, because obviously I don't expect to keep saying the bullying, and you're right, it's wrong. But Shelby and Dom had a bit of spooning, a bit of rubbing, that she told Erin. I won't say what rubbing, who was rubbing who. Even Erin asked that. But what made me laugh is when Erin goes into the video room and goes, got some gossip for you. It's like, you do realise that we've seen this conversation everywhere, and you do know this, don't you? Because I think Erin comes across with some really, really funny lines, and she's got some really nice qualities about her. But I think at this point in her life, when this was done, she's quite immature as well, but she can send herself up. So I think I've not been a fan of her, but I'm coming round to her as a person. It's just, I think this Eden and her thing just doesn't work for me at all.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, no one's 100% good or 100% bad, are they? They're somewhere in between. And we'd said early on in the series that, Erin always wants to be in there with the drama. She seems to be the person who spends most of the time in the diary room, and she's got some good kind of good lines, and she's good entertainment. It's just when she's right in there stirring all the shit, and like when she was kind of winding up Cassidy to do stuff, and it's quite unattractive. And even Eden had said that, hadn't he? So those bits of her personality are quite distasteful. but she is good entertainment when she's just taking the piss in the villa. And I did notice before some of the rubbing action, Dom took up his normal sleeping stance because he's obviously got a raging hard on. So he's lying on his front. So I think to try and avoid getting it caught on camera, I think that's what's going on there. So it did make me laugh a bit there.
Yeah, it was. It was good. It was pretty good. And I'm hoping, Dave, like tomorrow's episode, we get not. I don't know. I sort of want Teddy to have a bit of retribution, really. Sort of get his own back on him. I think slightly, not in a nasty way, but
has Teddy ever? Because we're on the downhill now, aren't we? We've got like 5 episodes left. We did see, next time we saw Millie having a bit of a snog with Mark, and saying she's finally getting the fanny flutters. Fucking funny that, Millie. You've just found out that there's no one new coming into the villa, and you're just getting that connection now.
Yeah.
What a coincidence, methinks. But, there's going to be people going out. I think, clearly Mac feels thrown under the bus by Millie. And I think, again, the way Millie kind of handled that, I didn't really like. She had a bit of the erring about it. It's like, well, this is how I feel, so don't really care, so fuck everyone else. But Mac's at a bit of a loose end now. And I was trying to think, has Teddy actually tried it on with Mac at all? I can't think that they have. So
no, I think he tried to speak to her, didn't he? And then it never went anywhere.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that's the only hope I can see that Teddy's got, though, isn't it? Otherwise, him and Mac are gonna maybe they'll end up together just by default. But I can't see anything else. Like Josh and Amelia, I don't think we've seen a great deal after they got together. We've not seen a lot from them, have we? You've got Eden and Erin, you've got Grant and Taylor, but Shelby and Dom, they're kind of new, aren't they? Not particularly strong, are they? I mean, Dom's just after a shag, and let's face it, right? He doesn't give a fuck about anyone other than himself. But he'll quite happily do a bit heavy petting, Chris. Some diving in the deep end if he gets a chance.
No bombing, Dave. No bombing. We've all been there, Dave. We've all been there.
So yeah, I think I just think Mac's the only one left for Teddy, isn't he? Isn't she?
Yeah, and I did feel sorry for Mac as well because she was very upset in this one, Dave. There's a point there in the middle where she just couldn't stop crying. She was inconsolable.
Yeah. Well, and again, like she's only just met this fucking Mark, so I although I did feel a bit sorry for her, I'm like, look, you just fucking met this guy. But I think she might have been getting upset at just that feeling of betrayal, And again, it frustrates me, Chris, and I think this is just part of the human condition, unfortunately, that people say things, but then they don't actually follow them up. They say things because it's how they understand they feel at that time, but actually it's not accurate with how they feel. So as far as Mac's concerned, Millie's told her that, she's absolutely going for the tradie, so that's this Corey guy. She, quite fancies this Mark, so, let's see where that goes. And then the next minute, the rug's just pulled from under her by one of her girls, girl code and all that. Yeah, utter bollocks. And so I don't know. I think it's probably a combination of just not really getting a connection with anyone, but then being thrown under the bus by one of the other girls as well.
Yeah, I agree, Dave. I think that's the problem, though, as well. Now that they've been told what you'd said yesterday about, it being like the last elms of the series, and obviously there's not going to be anyone else coming in or going out. Well, there will be people going out, but there's no one else coming in. Like you say, Millie's all of a sudden put the line in the sand and gone, right, hold on, who's the worst of the best of a bad bunch? Let's just go for it. So, yes, I agree. And Mac, she's done nothing for me, Dave. She's been there. She shit-stirred a few days ago with Taylor. And then obviously she was kicking off with Millie, like you just said. She was being a bit arsey with her. But it's like, well, what? There was no there. Like, say, it wasn't like her and fucking Diggy were together. She just went for it with Mark, didn't she? She was like, well, he's free, a fair game, really. He's only coupled with you to stay in the house. That's it at the moment.
And you know what the changing thing was, Chris? I mean, it was literally as shallow and superficial as Mark, like, fucking got his top off.
Yeah.
And he's ripped to
Yeah.
fuck. That was it.
He is. Yeah. It's true, because she said, didn't she, I've never seen a man with a body like that. And I just want to go over there and rip his clothes, jump on, not rip his clothes, or jump on him because he had his top off. But it's like, really though, look, I would love to have a body like that, Dave. I've never had a body like that, even when I was at my fittest and training and everything. And they still train now, but I certainly don't like that. And it's like, he has got an amazing body, but eventually that mask will drop. The personality's got to be there. Don't matter how good you look. You've got to have something. He looks like he's a nice guy, but if she's basing her whole assumption of somebody, that's quite immature. And she's like 26, isn't she, Millie?
Yeah. So, again, it's hard not to be cynical with some of these things, right? I will never have a body like that, Chris. Like you never had anything like it. You know what, Chris? Because I fucking enjoy life. I enjoy meeting people, I enjoy having a glass of wine, a beer. I enjoy doing other stuff, and so if you are chiseled like that and you're doing your modelling career, although no, he wants a degree in law or something. He wants to do something in law. He's got his criminology degree. I can't quite remember. So it's another one of those. He's a model, like, for a catalogue, like, and he gets one job every 3 months or something, which qualifies him as a part-time model. It's the classic Love Island trope, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're not really a model, are you? So, but I tell you what, Chris. So where I was going with that is, ultimately, he's going to be spending a lot of time in the gym, looking after himself, pampering himself, and then you're going to be fucking moaning because he never spends enough time with you. As sure as A goes to B, it will happen. But also, Chris, with Mark saying, "Oh no, I don't have veneers." Fuck off. You're probably going to say you haven't had your teeth whitened either. It just says to me, just that tiny little thing there, it's like, nah, fuck off. You're full of shit.
Right? I don't believe they're not real.
No.
I don't believe they're real, sorry.
No, are they bollocks? It's not quite as bad. It was Connor, wasn't it, in the UK season? I mean, those were really obvious. And these are pretty obvious as well, but not as quite, drawn with a set square. and at least Mark's had his bottom ones done as well. So, but for me, it's just bollocks. So he's talking bollocks. He's not trustworthy. But sounds like he's perfect for Millie.
He's perfect Love Island contestant, Dave.
I mean, for like one episode, and then she'll get bored. Oh no, she might not do, might she? Because she knows no one new's coming in, and so she might stick with him because, like I say, it's like, oh, no one new's coming in. Oh, I really like this Mark.
Yeah, and that the cynic in me would say that's exactly what she's going to do, David.
Yeah.
So. Another episode, Dave. 5 to go, as you say. If you want to contact us, guys, at cdrealitycast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And also, I always say it most episodes, if you can get over to your podcast catching up and just drop myself and Dave a review on the show, that'd be great stuff. So, Mr. Horrocks, great stuff, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye now.